Before I break down how I'm up over $500,000 in active live profits in these Apex funded accounts, let's talk about Friday's action, and then we'll break down kind of what I've been focused on and how I got to this point of over $500,000 in profit. And well, I've taken 3 payouts for $22,000, over $60,000 in payouts in these accounts. You can see they've been active for 32 days. 32 days. This is live. This is real. Let's dive into it. Right now, looking here at Friday, pull up the 15-minute chart. I love this setup. I did not trade on Friday because we had a fishing tournament, but let's just talk about it. We had the 8:30 news come out. We've got the 9:30 candle, right? So the market opens up 9:30 there. Got a 15-minute range. You can see the range is set. We had pivot points, the 21 EMA, put the VWAP on there. You can see everything that's going on. Now, let's pull up the 2-minute chart so we can see how beautifully this played out. So we broke to the downside here from the 15-minute range, that yellow line, 15-minute range, pivot point right there. What we have is this little push back into the middle of the 15-minute range, right? It gets denied, middle of the 15-minute range, denied, 21 EMA. We build a bear flag right here. We break to the downside. It all played out. Textbook. This is textbook, Patrick. Textbook Patrick Whelan setup right here, my friends. It does not get any cleaner than this. And then bang, another little bear flag down here at the 15-minute break. So we had the 15-minute range right there, the bottom of that 15-minute range. 9:30, the market opens. 9:45, the 15-minute range candle, right? It finished 9:45. As we get that, we get the little little bear flag, and then look at this move down from there. Woo! It just kept going lower and lower all day long there on the NASDAQ from the 15-minute range. So almost a 300, we'll call it 200-point move. Almost 300 points there on Friday with the 15-minute range set up. The middle of that 15-minute range getting tested right there, breaking to the downside. The pivot points. Look at those pivot points here playing out beautifully. Now looking at the 10-minute chart, we break to the downside. We hit this pivot point. We get all the way down there, kind of near this pivot, and then we kind of push back up. But in general, just an absolutely beautiful move there with the 15-minute range. This is a textbook Patrick Whelan momentum style trading setup. If you did not make money on Friday, well, clearly you missed out on this move right there. You clearly missed out on the idea of that 15-minute range playing out so damn beautifully. And if we look at the bigger time frames, looking at the hourly chart, kind of where we pulled back into, we had a hourly pivot point down there at the 20,400s. And then kind of this is where we broke out back there Tuesday, November 5th, and kind of squeezing back up there. So looks like we found a little bit of support. We'll see what happens here next week, but bang, it all played out so beautifully. So let's talk about those trades. What have I really been focused on? How have I got to this point? Now 32 days strong. We have 6 more funded accounts that we opened up or activated that are already up $5,398. What am I focused on here? Well, I'm focused on trading bull flags. I'm focused on trading bear flags. I'm focused on just trading the trend. I cannot stress. I can't stress enough, guys. Literally the fact of how much easier trading is once you just start to follow the trend. Fighting the trend is not your friend, right? If you're trying to go against the trend, you might get lucky here and there. But in the bigger scheme of things, the focus here needs to be simply one thing and one thing only. Identifying the overall trend, looking at the higher time frames, looking at those setups, and then taking those setups based on the kind of higher time frame setups. Being patient, waiting for pullbacks. You know, if the market starts to go straight up, wait for that pullback. Wait for a flag. Wait for something to give you an indicator like, hey, this thing is bouncing off previous resistance. Hey, this thing is doing exactly what I want to see it do. If the market's doing what I want to see it do, well, then I'm looking to take a trade. I'm looking to make some money on it, if you know what I mean, right? It's that simple. The problem is when we try to predict, when we try to say, oh, this is the bottom, oh, this is the top, and we try to fight the trend, that's when we get into hot water, and that's why we blow up accounts. Right now, sitting very, very beautifully, these are $50,000 accounts with Apex, $50,000 accounts. You can see total P&L. They're $43,855. And yes, this is very real. I'll refresh it just so you can see it reload there again. This is not like me photoshopping it or anything like that. And again, the big focus right now for me is getting to, that $500,000 payout, that $1 million payout, getting consistent, staying consistent, right? Trading the trend, trading what I need to do, getting the job done, and then walking away. That's all I need to do, right? We've already taken 3 payouts, 3 $2,000 payouts from these accounts. So now it's just getting there. We just need 6 payouts total so that I can request all of this green profits right into my bank account. And that's what I will be aiming to do here very soon. Again, the trend is your friend. Look at the hourly chart. Look at the higher time frames. Check out the course. It's $199. If you're struggling, you cannot keep struggling, right? The hardest part about trading is when you're struggling, you have no game plan. You have no idea on what to do, right? It is such a hard thing to do when you have no idea what to do. So starting at the basics, building up the fundamentals, being able to identify the trend, being able to see what is going on with the charts, and then looking for opportunities inside of these moves, right? We look for bull flags, we look for bear flags. The bear flags on the bigger time frames, like right here on the hourly chart, look at that, bear flag. We push up the VWAP, we get denied, we make that big leg down. So then once this bigger time frame setup plays out, I'm looking to be taking the shorts inside of this move, right? I'm looking at the bigger time frame, bang, bear flag, we're moving down. So now I go to a smaller time frame, I look for those bear flags, look for my entries, I get in, I get out, I lock down that profit. It's, well, maybe not that simple, but it is kind of that simple, really. You don't need a bunch of crazy concepts. You don't need a bunch of crazy indicators. You just simply need to be able to see what the market is doing, the overall trend, identifying that, and then locking in those profits along the way. So if you guys haven't already tuned in, we'll be back every day this week, 9 a.m. live right here on YouTube doing it. So I'll see you guys then. Peace to the Middle East.